It's creamy, it's delicious, and it's the perfect way to cool down on a hot afternoon. Believe it or not, people used to make ice cream by hand. Some people still do. The Graeter family has been churning out ice cream since 1870, when Louis Charles Graeter sold it out of a small storefront.
By that time, since you didn't have modern refrigeration, you had to eat it as soon as you finished making it. So we would make up a batch and sell it to the passers-by, and that's how we got started.
4 generations later, Graeter's is still a family-owned business using the original family recipe.
The recipe for ice cream is real basic. It's cream, milk, sugar, and eggs.
Of course, it's not quite that simple. The thing that makes this family recipe unique is they don't just use eggs, they use egg custard. And making that egg custard is the first step. Milk, sugar, and eggs go into a huge high-shear mixer. Once they're mixed, they're pumped into one of these large aluminum pasteurizers where they're heated to 195 degrees.
Back when I was a kid and I worked with my grandpa, we would make the egg custard in 12-gallon batches in a copper kettle over an open flame. And now we use that vat pasteurizer, and it makes about 260-gallon batches of egg custard.
Once it's ready, the custard is pumped into these holding tanks. But wait a minute, aren't we making ice cream? Where's the cream? It's here in these huge 300-gallon tubs. Once everything's ready, it's all pumped into the flavor vat, where they add, you guessed it, flavor.
Today we were making black raspberry chocolate chip. So it's very simple. We add pure black raspberry puree.
Once the flavor's stirred all the way in, more dairy mix is added. And here's where the cream meets the ice. Graeter's still makes ice cream just like great-great-grandpa Graeter did, in small batches using a special mixer called a French pot.
The French pot method is how everybody made ice cream back in the 1800s before you had modern equipment.
Once the flavored mix is poured into a pot, it's placed in a specially designed freezer that spins the pot. As the cream on the outside edges freeze, it's scraped off, forming a super soft, slow frozen ice cream. It's basically a high-tech version of the old hand-cranked ice cream buckets.
One thing that makes Graeter's Graeter's is that French pot freezer making ice cream in small 2.5-gallon batches. And we still do that. And we are the only place in the world where you can come and see ice cream made that way.
Once the ice cream is finished, it's time to add the chocolate chips. They don't just dump chips in. Instead, they take 10-pound bars of dark chocolate, melt them down, and then pour the chocolate into the frozen spinning pot, where it solidifies again.
And then the ice cream artisan will lower the blade back into the French pot and stick his paddle in, and then that chops it up into a bunch of little pieces.
Little and not so little, that is.
Well, we say little, but they're all different sizes. Sometimes you can find a chunk, that just can't even fit on the spoon.
All that thick, creamy ice cream in big chocolate chunks also can't fit through a filling nozzle.
And it's so thick that you can't pack it with an automatic filling machine. Every pint has to be packed by hand with the spoon, one at a time. So our little plant will hand pack maybe 4 million pints a year.
Every year, Graeter's makes around 900,000 gallons of ice cream. That's enough to give an ice cream cone to every person who enters Disneyland for a year.